Gisingin na ang diwa, salubungin ang umaga. Handa ka na ba? Masdan mo ang daluyong, umaagos ang pagtulong sa kapwa. Sa kapwa, may sinag sa iyong puso na hindi na maitatago. Ang silong mo'y lisanin na. Liwanag mo'y sisigla kung tayo'y magsasama-sama sa lupa nating naghihingalo. Tayo ang pagbabago, sabay nating suyuin. Mailap na pagkakaisa sa pagsikat ng bagong araw. Buong pusong isigaw na tayo ang pagbabago. Yakapin ang pagkakaiba. Liwanag mo'y sisigla kung tayo'y magsasama-sama sa lupa nating naghihingalo. Tayo ang pagbabago, sabay nating suyuin. Mainap na pagkakaisa sa pagsikat ng bagong araw. Buong pusong isigaw na tayo ang pagbabago, sabay nating suyuin. Mainap na pagkakaisa sa pagsikat ng bagong araw. Buong pusong isigaw na tayo ang pagbabago. Tayo ang pagbabago. Liwanag natin iisa, kaya tayo nang magsama-sama sa lupa nating naghihingalo. Tayo ang pagbabago, sabay nating suyuin. Mailap na pagkakaisa sa pagsikat ng bagong araw. Buong pusong isigaw na tayo ang pagbabago, sabay nating suyuin. Mailap na pagkakaisa sa pagsikat ng bagong araw. Buong pusong isigaw na tayo ang pagbabago. Bago. Tayo ang pagbabago.
Hello! So it's been a quite long time since we all gathered for Tayo Talks, and now we're back for this year's run. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. My name is Jasmine Dudley Scales, and I will be your host for tonight's episode of our conversation, Breaking the Bias. Welcome to Tayo Talks Women in Leadership. I am so happy and honored to be with amazing women tonight. Kaya kung may mga questions kayo, feel free to drop them below on our comment section sa Facebook Live. So hello sa inyo, mag-ingay naman kayo dyan sa comment section. So, kamusta kayo? How are you feeling? Na-miss nyo ba yung Tayo Talks natin? Kasi it's been a long time eh. So yes, we need women leadership talaga. I agree dyan. So mag-ingay lang kayo, share nyo yung live natin because tonight, I mean, this month we're celebrating International Women's Month. And we want to celebrate it by talking about women who are leading organizations and how they've made a difference in their respective communities. Tonight, we are joined by various women within our Tayo community, and I can't wait to introduce them to you. First, we have Hannah Tubalinal of Sulong PH.
Hi,
Hello, Hannah.
everybody. Hi, Jasmine. Good evening to all of you.
Good evening. And then next we have attorney Golda Benjamin of Access Now.
Hi Jasmine, hi Hannah. Magandang gabi sa inyong
Hello po,
lahat.
attorney. Good evening.
Yes. So next we have Ate Maan Espinosa of Project Urduha. And then we have Patricia De Jesus of AHA Learning Center.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. Hello.
And good evening, everyone.
Yeah, so si Ate Maan, she just joined the call. And then last we have Nicole Oy of Innovations for Community Health.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Hi, good evening. So, good evening to all these empowered women who are making a cause and helping our community to be a better place, and of course, breaking the bias. So, hello. So let's before we formally start, I want you to introduce yourselves and why do you do what you do. So maybe let's start with Hannah. Maybe you can introduce, and then what do you do? Why are you in Sulong PH?
Sure. Okay. So my name is Hannah Mayta Balanal. I'm a third year student at De La Salle University, Das Marinas. I have been serving as the co-chairperson of Sulong Philippines for, I think, 6 months and counting already. So it actually started last June 2020. And why am I here? Like, why am I serving as the co-chairperson of Sulong Philippines? I guess it's because that I am also a victim survivor myself. And I know for a fact that I want to serve the victim survivor community. And what's the best way of serving the community that I belong with? By supporting an organization, a youth and volunteer run organization that does the job. That's it for me.
Thank you so much, Hannah. Now let's proceed to Attorney Golda Benjamin.
Hi Jasmine. So I'm the first ever campaigner for digital rights for the Asia Pacific region of an international human rights organization called Access Now. I have been doing human rights law ever since I graduated from law school. When I entered law school, I really wanted to do human rights law, so I didn't go through the usual work at the law firm or work in government. I just really wanted to focus on human rights. And I'm here because I can see that there's a lot that we can do, especially women. Our viewpoints are quite different and unique, and we have a lot to bring to the table. So it's a difficult work, especially because it's the first ever campaigner post for the organization in the region during such a difficult time with all the coup going on in Myanmar and elections coming up in the Philippines.
Thank you, Attorney Golda. And that's really true. A lot has been going on now, right now. And I think it's like the right time for women to be inspired and hopefully follow your footsteps or make other inspire other women to do another job, but at the same time continue to break the bias that women can lead. And then next we have Ate Maan.
Ayan, magandang gabi uli sa inyong lahat. Ako si Maan Espinosa, one of the founders of Project Urduha. So, what I'm doing right now, actually, I just finished taking the bar exam. So, medyo I'm on nagpapahinga muna ako mula sa stress. But before, I used to work at the Supreme Court before I needed to take the break and take the bar examination. So right now I'm focusing with my advocacy. So one of which is Project Urduha. We provide mentoring program or year-long mentoring program to young women leaders. No, so ang goal lang talaga namin is to make women take up space, all democratic and economic spaces, take up leadership roles, no, so that we mas maraming makinig sa atin, mas maraming makaintindi sa mga pangangailangan natin, no? So alam naman natin na sa mga nagdaang taon naging mas mahirap para igalang ang mga kababaihan at ang mga LGBT brothers and sisters natin. So yun yung goal ng Urduha, na magkaroon ng mas maraming makabagong Urduha sa ating bayan.
Wow! So, good luck, Ate Man. Baka sa next Tayo Talks, maging attorney maan ka na, 'di ba? Ang exciting. And then last but not the least, Nicole.
Hi everyone, good evening. I'm Nicole from Innovations for Community Health. So I'm a nurse by profession, but right now I'm working in public health. So for Innovation CH, I'm the Monitoring, Evaluation, Learning and Development Manager. It's a mouthful, but basically I monitor the KPIs of our projects and making sure everything is going smoothly, and yeah, we really implement based on the best practices. And yeah, why do I do what I do? It really came from my practice before, like my training in the Philippine General Hospital, na parang you get frustrated ng hindi accessible yung healthcare services. So what we do is we actually increase access to those, especially for tuberculosis patients. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Nicole. I was one of the interviewees of Nicole when she applied for Tayo 19. So yeah, and I'm really sorry, hindi pa pala last si Nicole. Ano ba, Jasmine? So let's ask naman Patricia. I'm really sorry, Patricia. But yes, you
It's
may
okay.
speak.
Yes, thank you, Jazz. So, hello everyone. I'm Pat Tesus. I represent AHA Learning Center. And like Hannah from Sulong, I'm also a college student studying in UP Diliman. So, I chose to work in AHA as a volunteer. I've been volunteering for 3 years now because I believe in the why of the community, that we should transform communities through after school learning. Aside from the education we have with our public school system, a lot has to be done to supplement that learning and to actually solve education inequity. And aside from that, holistic learning does not only come from our education system, but also comes with acknowledging that we need to learn as well multiple intelligence, social emotional learning, so that we can create the change makers in the youth, so that our change will not just be lasting, it will be sustainable for the next generation and the next generation to come. So I'm so excited to be with all of our panelists today. Thank you so much.
Wow, so that's entirely true. And wow, it's amazing women. I am with amazing women who are excelling talaga in the field of in their respective field. So let's start. I'm gonna ask a question. Maybe we can start from ano lang, Hannah, then Attorney Golda, Ate Maan, Patricia, and then last si Nicole. So yan na lang yung ano natin, sequence. So there has been a lot of stereotypes, biases, and inequality in women throughout the years. And what can people, or especially children, learn from women?
That's actually a very interesting question. Siguro, if I were to teach young kids what they can learn from me, it would be there is nothing wrong with serving from the heart. Yan kasi usually yung unconscious bias na meron dito sa society natin. Like women are often called as emotional, that we can't lead because we're simply too full of emotions, too full of feelings. But it is what actually has been powering me to serve the community, to be the co-chairperson of Sulong Philippines. Every single day, I am empowered with the heart to serve the community and the hope to change the world. And I believe if I can have that perspective, I would love to teach young kids to have that as well.
Happy to jump in also, Jasmine. For
Sorry.
I think we lost Jasmine for a little bit.
Oo, na-disconnect yata siya.
Welcome back, Jasmine.
You're on mute, ata, Jazz.
So many technical difficulties in life, but it's okay. We will strive back in life. Ganun lang.
Yeah.
All right. So before Attorney Golda, Hannah, I really like your shirt. You know. Anyway, so yes, Attorney Golda, but anyone can also interact, agree to each other. Hindi naman ito sobrang formal. So yes, Attorney Golda.
Hi, Jazz. Ako naman, I'm a mother now of a 2-year-old, and I always reflect on ano bang ituturo ko sa anak ko. And I always start with this, that there's nothing wrong with being vulnerable as a woman. It's for me, it's such a big plus in leadership when you allow yourself to be vulnerable. You see your own weaknesses and you learn from others. I feel that we get so much humility when we try to be vulnerable. I see in my work, especially in human rights lawyering, that women sometimes feel pressured to be like so aggressive and to be so out there and loud, but actually it's the quiet courage of women that makes us stronger and actually smarter and more effective also in many cases. So I hope I can teach that to my 2-year-old.
That's really inspiring, Attorney Golda. That's really nice to teach your children, especially because you have a 2-year-old. And sometimes it's really hard to even start teaching young ones, but right now, because of all the technology that we have, I think it's faster for us to relate to the next generation. Wow, next generation talaga. Anyway, napaka next generation naman ni Jasmine. Anyway, so thank you so much for that. Yeah, si Ate Maan, soon to be Attorney Maan.
Oh my God. Ayun. Siguro something that we can teach, young ones, wow, young ones, especially young girls, is that they can make things happen, no? So that they can and they will be capable leaders. And that's actually one of my favorite TED Talks, no? Now, when there's a crisis, you lead like a mother, you lead like a woman. Kasi when you lead like a mother, you think holistically, intersectionally kung ano yung kailangan ng mga tao na nasasakupan mo o ng mga taong may nangangailangan sa iyo, no? So that women or even girls should not be afraid to take up space and leadership roles, so that do not be afraid to speak up, so that others will listen and others will know what they think, because most of the time we have great ideas because we see the need and we have the solution. It's just we're too afraid to speak up. So I hope yung mga kabataan matuto silang magsalita, matuto silang makinig at magsalita. Yun.
Yeah, totoo yan. So right now, makikinig na naman tayo ni Patricia.
Yeah, so before I give my answer to that, I just want to say na I'm so happy na na-bring up ni Hannah and Attorney Golda yung totoo yun na parang nagiging liability na ang pagiging emotional ng isang babae instead of it being an asset. Pero for my viewpoint, I work with communities, and kapag pumunta ka sa communities, sinong unang kausap mo? Mga nanay naman. And it's not because they're overly emotional, it is because they have the ability to empathize. At unpaid work pa ang pagiging nanay. So I really think na being emotional is an asset when you do community work, because it allows you to empathize. And we can see naman when women are in spaces of leadership, they are able to translate that into their work. A lot of women, kapag sila yung nag-lead, nagiging tumataas yung value for human life and for well-being. So ayun. Para naman dun sa gusto kong for young children, ako personally, I'm still a young girl. And ang gusto kong mantra na sabihin sa akin is that when spaces are not available for you to lead, make the space available for girls like you to lead. So I think proven naman na ang girls sobrang sipag yan. Sa school pa lang sila ang pinakamadaming notes, di ba? Sobrang sipag ng mga girls. So there's no question na we are hardworking and we are competent. Pero kasi because of the internalized misogyny, feeling ko we doubt ourselves first before we can prove ourselves. So, for me naman po, ang pinaka gusto kong i-pursue is for women to have founder positions. Kasi women can climb up the ladder of leadership, but parang they're still in spaces na we need the permission of men. At pangarap ko po talaga na wag na tayong mag-seek ng permission from men. All these years, sila na ang nasa top seat positions. Sila na ang pioneers. Oras na naman for yung girls to take the first steps forward para the other girls of the next generation, their way has already been paved. And of course, I'm still a young girl at maraming mas nauna sa akin kaya posible yung work na ginagawa ko today. Ayun. Okay, passionate ako, abante babae. Thanks, Jazz. Ayan.
On, 'di ba? So we don't need to seek validation sa mga lalaki. I mean, like, in a good way naman yung purpose or yung reason natin why we don't need their validation. So, yes, next, Nicole.
Yeah, no, thank you. Because dahil ko na narinig, na super agree with those thoughts, especially dun sa nabanggit ni Attorney Golda about being, vulnerable. Hindi siya weakness. And actually, that's my philosophy din sa leadership. No? I apply it also in my workplace because with vulnerability comes authenticity din. You're true to yourself. Like, I think it's time to stop yung parang binobox natin yung sarili natin na if you want to be respected as a woman leader, kailangan parang stiff ka or medyo yung dating mo parang maangas or like, alam mo yun, even like in clothing, di ba? Kasi yung uso yung blazer na parang para magmukhang CEO ka, kailangan yung parang, ano tawag doon, yung shoulder pads kasi it emanates yung sa men na V yung shape. Parang, I think it's time to like stop that stereotype na for you to be like a leader, a CEO or whatever, you have to somehow be a bit masculine. So I feel it's time for women to really embrace their femininity. Oh, pinaktis ko talaga sabihin yun. Sinerge ko mo, femininity. And, it's time that we teach these young women din na, it's okay to be girly. It's okay to like pink. It's okay to wear dresses. It doesn't make you less of a leader. And, and I think that's something that we can really share. And I'm grateful for these women din sa call who allow us na medyo younger to have a space in this world because it's really yung mga predecessors natin, paving the way for us to have these opportunities. So really thankful for that.
That is true. Based on our clothes, what we wear, you can wear anything you want. It doesn't represent you on who you are talaga in the field that you're working. I can dress up whatever, whenever I want, but still I could lead. I could empathize. I still feel these emotions. So, sobrang ganda nun. I hope the listeners have learned and will apply that naman to themselves. Sometimes you listen to it, but then you don't really apply it to yourself or you don't show it to other people so that other people naman can learn and it can create a ripple effect afterwards. So, for next question, maybe we can start naman from Ate Maan and then we have Pat, Nicole, Attorney Golda, and then last si Hannah. We'll follow lang yung sequence sa live. So, while we celebrate women every day, we have a day and month dedicated to its celebration. But how should women be celebrated talaga?
Wow, napaka-Miss Universe ng tanong. Women should be celebrated every day in a way by empowering them. No, if you're let's discuss this in terms of privilege. No, I'd say lahat tayo dito ngayon privileged enough to have good education. At least in this talk, no, lahat ng nasa panel ngayon to have good education, to have resources, to have the capacity to actually speak up. When you have that privilege, use it to help others. That's how we celebrate being a woman and other women. Um, if you may not be a woman, but you're also in a position of privilege or you're in a position of power, allow women, no, give space to women so that they'd be listened to. That's how you celebrate women. You don't take up the stage and say, I support women. Maybe it's time that you actually give the stage to women and allow them to speak up. No, so I think that's how we for me, that's how we actually celebrate women. Give them the mic and let them speak and listen to them and allow them to make things happen the way they want to, not what you think they should do. So, yon, give them the space, give them the stage, and allow them to speak for themselves. Yun.
Yes, okay. Sobrang malaking point ang na-bring up ni Ate Maan. I think it's also about yung you let the women explain from themselves rather than mansplaining things for on their behalf. No, nako, kahit I don't know, pero may malaking disconnect talaga sa mga some people na male counterparts natin who claim to be allies, real allies, but in reality, dun sa grassroots projects, wala na namang totoong changes na nagagamit and nagagawa when they employ their women, when they interview their women, when they make decisions for their women. Hindi lang dapat sila yung nagde-decide for us. We should be given the space to decide for ourselves. Malaking point yon. I think since nag-active action si Ate Man, I'll go for a negative action. One thing that I want them to refrain from doing is using mga internalized sexist remarks. Nako, this is a small thing, pero we see it a lot. Words like babae kasi or babae ka lang. I think, nako, if you are driving or if you've ever been on the road, taxi, pa-road rage ka na, how many times have we heard a driver saying dun sa car's harapan, ang bagal mag-drive, ang dito magaling na driver, babae kasi. 'Di ba? May mga ganong remarks. These are small things, pero napaka-internalized na kasi ng misogyny na ginagamit yung babae kasi to actually point out your shortcomings as if lahat ng pagkakamali mo ay dahil sa pagiging babae mo. So parang naging dapang-dapa ng babae, parang hindi ko alam paano nag-connect ang aking driving skills sa aking gender. Pero apparently may ganon. And then dun sa babae lang, napakasakit ng term na babae lang yan. Kasi parang you're not yet proving yourself. You are already interrupted in conversations. You are already denied of a voice. And hindi ka na binibigyan ng space kasi presumption na since babae ka, hindi ka na kagad competent. So, I alam kong medyo stressful at times to be politically correct kasi a lot of people are stressed out for being cancelled. I fully understand that. Pero para totoong ma-celebrate ang babaeng ganyan, you should be willing to make sacrifices such as that. Kasi maliit na bagay yan at marami ng, it will be one small step towards eventually a big change that's compounded. So that's it for me.
No, thank you, Pat and Ma. And I super agree. No, I feel for me, like what people should do, like what we can do for women, is that to make something more like a level playing field, or parang, well, tanggalin yung bias. For example, I think I'll root it in my personal experience. I'm relatively young, and I would say na I'm doing well in my career. And like, I would sometimes hear remarks na because, oh, it's because he's close with this one person. Or like, oh, it's because na malapit siya dun sa boss namin. So parang, sometimes, di ba, parang it hurts na your success is always like undermined just because you're a woman. Like, you feel like there's always people doubting how much of you deserve. Parang, well, the man by Taylor Swift yung channeling ko. So I think just stopping that bias or ending that bias na parang magaling lang siya kasi nabigyan siya ng ganitong special treatment. But if it's a different person, if it's a man, you know, being there, lalo na that my field is somehow male-dominated, I would consider it. I think it discourages women to actually participate in this space. So for me, siguro, what other women can do now to make everything or to celebrate more women is to stand their ground. Like when in their field, like me, I would like to take my space talaga and say that I'm a woman, I'm in this field and I deserve it. And I feel like if all women would do that, it would be easier for, you know, for us to really improve the way we are treated in society. Thank you.
That's so true. I mean, I've also experienced the same thing. And it's really degrading when people say babae ka lang or like baka ay, dahil close lang yan na ni boss or ni dot 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 kahit sino yan. And it's really it's very disrespectful to your mother. Like your mother raised you, you know, nurtured you and so much, and then you're gonna say at the end of the day, dahil babae naman siya, hindi siya gaano ka galing. So yes, from Ani sabi niya, it's even more disheartening when this kind of sexist comments come from women too. And this is true, like it doesn't only come from men. Like there's a lot of women also who try to degrade other women or like try to bring them down siguro. I think that's the right term. And it's very frustrating. I mean, we already have a hard fight for how many decades, for how many years. And then there are women in our generation, our generation, that tend to degrade you and, you know, or even believe na, ay nako, mas magaling talaga yung mga lalaki. Or like they can do better than her. So it's very insulting. Like, think of your mothers. Ganon na lang. 'Di ba? So let's listen to Attorney Golda for her
Thanks.
answer.
And I'm really enjoying this conversation. I wish we were in a coffee shop. And for me, how to celebrate women, this is one thing that I advocate for. Allow us to highlight our whys and for us women to stop apologizing. So, for example, me, I go out to work every day. I try to stop myself because sometimes I make the mistake of saying, Anak, bye bye. Sorry, mama has to work. Why do I have to say that? I always say I have to work because I love my work and I enjoy it. And I go through that conversation even when she's two. And also when I negotiate for terms in consultancies and in jobs, I always say I have to block my 5 p.m. to my 9 p.m. because I choose to be with my daughter. I choose to be a mother, and I'm not. I just don't want to just keep on apologizing for the things that matter to me as a woman. So I think we can do that for our fellow women, and I hope that the rest of the world can do that also for all of us.
That's very beautiful, Attorney Golda. Well, for me, I would love to siguro send a message across to the general public. Celebrating women is as easy as recognizing our gender. You can start by recognizing your mother, saying how much you love her. You can start by saying how much you love your sister. You can start by saying that thank you to that female teacher who taught you so much. And it doesn't just stop there, you can be recognizing women in the form of telling your friend, wow, ang ganda mo naman. These things matter. Not all women are leaders, and that's okay. Not all women are mothers, and that's okay. Women are simply women, and you can start celebrating our gender by recognizing who we are.
Totoo yan. And for Attorney Golda and, yung kang Hannah, we should not apologize. Women right now have a right to choose whatever you want to do. You can stay at home if you wish to do so. You can work if you want. Let's not listen to all the stereotypes that were there 1800s pa, 1900s, where you see women should stay at home, should just cook, serve men. I think we're way past that. It's 2022, and we should, have the freedom to choose whatever we want. So for our non-Miss Universe na tanong, kasi sabi ni Maan na, nako, napaka-Miss Universe naman ang question. So, what's your favorite brand of clothing, perfume, food that supports women? I think it's important to support people and brands that supports us also, di ba, at the end of the day. So we just support each other. So maybe we can start with anyone that who wants to answer na lang. Kasi baka nag-iisip pa kayo ano yung favorite clothing or perfume.
I can go first because actually my top of mind ko talaga ako. It's Sinaya Cup. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but it's a menstrual cup. And I've actually met the founder because back in 2020, I led this event for JCI Ortigas. It was on sustainable menstruating. The owner was one of our speakers. It was so inspiring to hear about her story, how she came up with that brand. It really came from her love for the sea. Kaya rin Sinaya Cup because of course, siya di ba yung goddess of the sea, I think. But yeah, I really love her product. I still use it actually today. And it really supports my advocacy then of, giving other options for women na hindi dapat tayo kulong lang na kailangan pads lang. It's sobrang mahal pa nun. And it's not really comfortable. So yeah, that's it.
I can go next. I just want to say na to all the women who have adjusted na to a menstrual cup, idol na idol ko kayong lahat. Part yan ng bucket list na gusto kong matutunan habang wala pang face-to-face classes. Iwas emergencies, di ba? So, ayun, I really appreciated na local brand yung sinabi ni Miss Nicole. For me, it's also a local brand. It produces clothing with hand-woven indigenous fabrics, but for more contemporary everyday wear. So, it's called Everyday Pinay. So from the name itself, it's like embracing that every day you are a Filipino woman. So you can show that through your clothing as well. I think talagang in general, colonialized na din talaga ang ating pananamit. And ang Filipiniana natin nagiging pangbuwan ng kasuotang Pilipino na lang. So, ayun yung gusto kong may embrace. Aside from embracing that I am a woman, I want to recognize that I am also Filipina. So, ayun. And then aside from that, I would also advocate for maraming small businesses dyan na thrift stores naman or reworking yung mga existing fabrics. So, madami doon. Mga mothers na mananahe, nung PPEs din, ang daming mothers na mananahe, ganun. So, I really want to highlight that there are a lot of talented women in the fashion space as well na we could definitely support. Ayun. That's all for me.
Sige, I'll go next siguro. Comment din, I use Sinaya Cup. So, for years now. And yeah, towards a zero waste lifestyle. We're trying. Ayun. For me, it's anthill fabric. Ever since I've loved the concept, no, that they go to the community and allow the women to be creative. In their weaving and then turn it into something that they can sell and market, and then the profit goes back to the community. And yung mga damit nila is very wearable, so hindi mo kailangang ng special event para lang masuot yon, no. Second is Tayo Studio. Oh, tayo din. You can check it on Instagram. I think they also have in Lazada. They're not using we woven fabric. They're quite modern, but the thing is that they cater to all sizes, so hindi natin kailangang makulong na, alam mo yon, na yung, kasi media has fed us na dapat may size lang ang babae, no, para maging maganda. But what I want is that they celebrate all sizes, all forms of women. As long as you're confident with what you're wearing, go for it. You're pretty, you're beautiful. So that's a concept I really love from Tayo Studio. So you can check them out, and they have beautiful clothes then.
Ako naman, Pinas Sadya. So it's an online store, and most of their producers are women, or either organizations or individuals. So they have clothes for the modern woman. They also have for the house. So they have like plates, dinnerware, and then a little bit of furniture and some of the fabric also, which I love. And I also love their like very big earrings, which I love for Zoom meetings because we can no longer wear other things, so we just accessorize. So I really love that brand, and it's also very sensitive to the working woman. So even the clothes with the indigenous fabric, they're so easy to put on. And for like lazy people like me, I can just put on a kimono wrap, and suddenly my jeans and shirt look a little bit dressy. So I like pinasadya. And for makeup, I also do love makeup. Glamour Box. So they support also brands that support women run businesses as well. And I also love that.
Okay, so I guess of the last, these are like advocacy-based brands that I love. It's because even if I don't relate to it in a personal matter, I have friends who really relates to these advocacies. First would be, this is just very recent, from Nina Cabreras, the owner of Coloret Cosmetics. So she recently launched a swimwear brand for all sizes. And sobrang gusto ko yun, yung everybody swimsuit niya, because it caters to all sizes of Filipinos. And I think that's beautiful. That's very empowering, allowing people and allowing women especially to flaunt their bodies. Kung ano mang size yan, that will always be beautiful. And then the other one would be Morena the Label. So I also love that brand. Yeah, because it really promotes inclusivity in terms of color. And even if like the statements are just really bold, Morena, it makes you so powerful. It allows you to embrace that, wow, I'm a Filipina. I love my color. I love me.
Yeah, so for me naman, kasi sabi, kailangan ko daw mag-answer. I am a huge fan of local products. So for Sinaya Cup, I have been using menstrual cup for so long. I think turning 3 years now. And it's very comfortable. I love it. So you should make a switch na. I just lost mine. So I was supposed to buy. But then now when Nicole said Sinaya, so I'm going to try Sinaya. And I also love Coloret. I love makeup. But I think it started yung sa swimwear nila. I think if I'm not mistaken, it started out because Nina was bashed. Nina,
Yeah.
napaka-close na, Nina
Close
talaga.
kami.
Close. Yeah,
Yeah, but
Nina,
she
yeah,
received
she
a
was
lot of
bashing. She was told
bashing.
na, yeah, she was told na, oh, you're like this, you're not supposed to wear bikinis, you know, you should cover up. And then she was inspired na, no, it's not, because some of our, you know, yung mga bikinis, mga, for beach natin, they're usually for like, yung mga petite, or lang, you know, those kinds of, body types. Pero for Nina, like, she catered to all. Nina talaga, diba? Hi po, Miss Nina, if you're watching. So yeah, it's really amazing how there's a lot of local products who really support women, or are not just there to provide or like for business purposes, but right now they already have a purpose. They have a story behind why they actually built this, why they actually want to pursue and continue this to pass it on to generations. So now let's go to a more fun, 'di ba? Kasi fun naman yung mga questions natin. For our next segment, we have What's Up. Alright, so yung What's Up, in this segment, we will show you photos, some words, and you, of course, our guest, lovely women that we have, will share the first thing that pops in your mind. So, kahit unahan na lang. Like, do not overthink lang. First word, no judge. No judging talaga. Yeah, but let's start. So, yung first, ay, dun, dun, dun. Alright, sino yung gustong mag-una?
Okay, one word lang po, no?
One word, phrase,
Okay, okay.
ikaw bahala.
So, first thing that came to mind is effective. Kasi I think besides from being efficient, more than that, it was being effective na from the start pa lang. The New Zealand Prime Minister already controlled the COVID outbreak and trusted the experts and what they recommend. So, ayun po yung sa akin.
Yes, mine would be framework. So with the standards that she set in terms of mitigating COVID-19, I think it's high time that the global community should start really recognizing what she did and use it as a framework for them to mitigate COVID-19 in their respective countries.
I guess for me, it was competence. Kasi parang, I guess related kanina na parang yung comments niya is babae lang siya, but she proved it na parang, hindi, babae siya, and she's competent. And yeah, I think sikat naman yung response ng New Zealand because they were among the first few countries who were able to control, the COVID-19 outbreak.
Sige, ako next. Idol. I really love her. Ever since, even I was already following her even she was just running pa as prime minister. And so she's a mother. Yung partner niya, they're not married, but alam mo yun, very modern yung family nila. Tapos, while she's leading a country na pandemic, di ba, inaalagaan niya yung pamilya niya. Sobrang galing talaga niya. Tapos, when there was an attack in New Zealand, no, in one of the churches, parang na-encourage na yung mga tao na, okay, give up your guns, and we are going to solve this as a nation together, ganyan. Sobrang, I really love her. So, idol ko talaga siya. So, first word, idol talaga.
Alright, so ako din, idol ko siya. She mitigated. She really was one of the leaders who did well during the start of COVID-19. We even had like yung subject namin, she was one of her topics on how we should follow her footsteps, so even if it's different yung like economic wise or all these types of sectors, pero we should learn. And people should know na wow, she's a woman, and you don't have to say nga wow, she's a woman pero nakaya niya. No, you should just tell nga she's doing a good job. Ganun lang. You don't have to say. So speaking, because Nicole said babae lang, yung next natin ay babae lang. So what's the first word or phrase that comes to your mind when you hear the word babae lang?
For me, outdated. Immediately. Huh? 2022 na po.
Okay, so ako, before anyone else, para sa akin, disrespectful. Like, hello, I can do so much and my gender won't stop me from doing all the things that I love. I could lead if I choose to cook, clean, that's on me. But you don't have to tell me what to do. Oh, 'di ba? Okay, so sino yung next?
Okay, I can
Please
go
go.
next.
Go, Pat.
Oh, okay, all right. Yung for me naman po, it would be tao rin. So before we are women, before we are sisters, mothers, daughters to you, tao rin kami. So we deserve that level of respect because we're the same. Ayun lang po.
Sa akin, it's actually the first reaction ko sa parang, lo, whenever someone says, like, hala. Because it's so parang laughable lang that people still think that, agree with Attorney Golden na parang it's really outdated. So yeah.
Ako siguro there. 'Di ba? Kasi it's usually used as a term to parang discriminate you, to belittle your capacities though. So parang iniisip ko there, you want me to prove otherwise. Parang gano'n, 'di ba? So, 'yun, pag nababasa ko 'yan, naiirita ako, pero it's more of a dare to me na parang, okay, wanna try? Parang gano'n. So, yun lang. Hindi tayo babae lang, babae tayo.
Why now let's answer it with hindi babae lang, babae dapat. 'Di ba? Babae dapat.
True, babae dapat. So, at the end of the day, we choose what we want to do, kaya natin, and let's not let gender stop us. And don't listen sa ibang tao na they will tell you that. Nako, sabi nga ni Ryan said yun sa live comment section natin on Facebook, Attorney Golda, yes, outdated talaga. O, di ba? Nag-paraphrase na lang ako. Sorry, Ryan. Baka magalit si Ryan. Anyway, so sige, yung next natin ay BTS. Ako, ang daming fans sa BTS. Nakasmile agad si Ate Maan. Si Ate Maan talaga yung nakita ko.
Okay,
Sige,
sige,
Ate
ako na
Maan.
sagot. Ganyan.
Sige.
Ayun, first time bias. So, ang bias ko ay si Jane. So, pasensya na. So, yan. Hi, Jane. Ang aking bias record ay si RM. So, yun na po.
Okay, sino? Ako, hindi, to be honest, don't come at me or ano. Hindi ako fan ng BTS. But I have so many friends na sobrang fan ng BTS. I respect them. Iba naman yung preference natin at the end of the day. But, I respect, I don't bash, I don't, do anything. Okay lang, they're there. But high respects to them. Grabe, kahit pandemic, they've done so much also. So, walang biases yung iba.
Well, I'm not actually a fan of BTS as well, but I was a K-popper before, and I used to love female groups. If you remember, Girls' Generation was sila talaga yung naging fan ako. I mean, it was really like, I think this was the time of around 2010 to 2012 that really gave birth to my K-popper era. Well, medyo nag-expire na siya right now. But yeah, I was more in favor of, kumbaga, ang yung biases ko during that time, talaga, girl groups talaga.
Ako, same ako with Hannah. I wouldn't call myself a K-pop fan kasi injustice yun sa ibang forms of K-pop, no? Kasi I'm only a fan of one girl group and that's Blackpink naman for me. Up to now, I'm still a fan. Ang bias ko is si Lisa. For BTS naman doon, ang mako-comment ko is, they're really iconic. Like, they are not just musical icons, they're also cultural icons. And grabe talaga kapag sinusupport ng government ang arts, it will really thrive. So it's something for us to embrace as well as Filipinos for OPM.
Ako naman, lagi ko itong sinasabi, why? Yung lumabas yung picture. Kasi baby, also I grew up na really loving rock bands. So, hindi ko siya naiintindihan. But I did try because most of my friends are fans. Yung mga type na bibili ng merch at may boxes pa yan. So, talagang nakinig ako, nanood ako. Na-appreciate ko naman yung showmanship pero hindi ko talaga gets. So, I don't know. Yun. Why?
For me, siguro, it's magaling because I wouldn't say that I'm a super fan, but I do watch some of their concerts. I would say na super galing nila. And actually, what I do naman is I watch their videos, yung mga, tawag doon, reality shows, because I'm also learning Korean. So I'm trying to use them as my pang-practice. So, yun lang.
Okay, so let us all welcome... Ay, char lang. Na, nagulat si Ate Maan na may video greeting for you, Char. 'Di ba? Anyway, so yung next, yung mga Miss Universe Philippines na nanalo. So, what's the first word phrase na comes to your mind nung makikita nyo sila?
Okay. I'm gonna go first because I'm not sure if everyone is familiar with this, but maybe Nicole, because kabatch ko siya sa Tayo 19, and they all know that I'm also a pageant girl myself. So I've been joining pageants since 2016. That's the first year that I won my first crown as well. And if there's one word that I would describe them, it would be me, hopefully. Well, it's because really pageantry, to be honest, gave me the encouragement, give me the motivation to enter community service. Ito ang nagbigay sa akin ng puso para magsilbi sa komunidad. And I know for a fact that if I were given the chance to soon hopefully become Miss Universe Philippines or Miss Universe in the near future, I would be able to empower the community that I'm trying to serve, which is the victim survivor community.
O, di ba? So, Hana, Miss Universe Philippines baka 2024, 2025. Libre mo kami ng tickets. Kami, ng lahat na nandito. Joke lang. Alright, yung iba, ano yung nasa isip nyo pag makikita nyo sila?
Ako
Sa
believe,
akin,
I'm super fan ako ng pageants. I always try to watch, and then ngayon they get to be interviewed a lot, and then we see like they're such athletes, they train so well, and then I try also to answer the final question at sobrang latak yung mga sagot ko lagi at hindi talaga pang winner answer, and so there's a lot of intelligence and really bravery for people that enter into pageants. Kaya super fan ako sa pageants. I always watch.
for me naman, it's evolving because I really appreciate how yung standards din of women's in society, especially in pageants, have evolved throughout the years. Like before, if you would watch old videos, the questions are, I would say, medyo ewan, na parang, um, I wouldn't comment na. But like right now, our standards of leaders or like mga beauty queens, I think it evolved na rin na parang it's less on the external appearance but more of really the kung ano yung meron sa person na yun, their values, and even how they answer the question. So that's how what I appreciate naman with, that the pageant world.
Yes. Okay. For super similar, mine is about similar to evolving, but mine is confident. Parang ngayon, beauty is really not just skin deep. Beauty is a mindset now. And for you to be beautiful, you have to be more than just conventionally attractive. Of course, we have a lot more work to do to put different types of beauty out there. But with the recent victories, of course, Miss India right now for Miss Universe, I think we're really getting there to be more inclusive. In AHA, personally, we've had a lot of beauty queens become allies. Nakakailang B-roll na kami, na yung students namin sa mga B-rolls. Students namin yon. So, talagang there is real change. So, aside from being beautiful externally, kailangan meron ka ding ambag sa local communities mo. Yes.
Ayun. So, sobrang pareho kami ni Nicole ng sagot na evolve. Pero sige, synonym na lang. Transforming na lang. Ganon. Kaya pala mga pang miss yung tanong dito. May miss you pala dito. Ano ba yan? So, ayun. Same concept for me. Kasi before, like, several years ago, hindi mo ako gano'ng katanda. But I mean, di ba dati the way na, na i-judge natin ng isang Miss You, or even binibining Pilipinas, di ba, sexy ba to, matangkad ba to, maputi ba to, ganyan, di ba? Yun yung idea natin. But ngayon, like, with Pia and Catriona, o di ba, kilala ko pa rin naman. Parang they're judged because ano yung ginagawa nga nila, yung advocacies nila, what they speak parang what they stand for, 'di ba? HIV, si Catriona yung silver lining and tutulong siya sa mga taga-tanda. No, but it's the character, it's the personality, it's evolving, and we see na may pinaglalaban na sila sa buhay at hindi na sila nakakahon na lang sa kung ano yung itsura nila. So, yun.
That is so true. Ako din, I'm a huge fan of pageants because, o di ba sabi ni Ryan, crown all of the guests. O di ba, all Miss Universe kayo. Totoo naman, we are all Miss Universe. You know, hindi tayo, it's okay if hindi tayo mag-compete talaga, but we're all Miss Universe. Sabi nga ni Pia Wurtzbach, we are all confidently beautiful with the heart. O di ba? All na lang, hindi lang si Pia. Tayo talaga lahat. So I'm a fan because my mom is also a huge fan of, Miss Universe or any other pageant, kapag nanonood kami, parang siyang judge. Sabi, ay, bakit ganyan? Dapat ganito, dapat ganyan. Oh, she should have answered this way. Ano yung mom ko? Pwede na siya maging judge. Anyway, not the point. So let's proceed to the next. And I think this is the last. Kasi sabi nyo, empowering na yon, yung sila, they have transformed. So yung next is empowered women, empower women. So, sino yung first word ha? Huwag kayo mag-overthink. Hindi to pang Miss Universe. Fun lang ito. Huwag naman mag-overthink.
Ako unang pumasok sa utak ko, challenge. For me, it is a challenge. Sometimes, nakakalimutan natin because we are in very privileged spaces, positions of leadership na, meron na tayong some level of success na nakakalimutan na natin, or worse, we put more pressure on women actually and try to disregard the challenges and their own multiple burdens. So I'm also very conscious of that. Whenever I wear the hat of a woman in positions of power, so I try to see beyond my role, not just as a leader, but also to really empower women.
Ate Maan, sige ikaw, parang gusto mo na talagang magsalita. Nagpa-practice ka na, no?
Ay, hindi.
Parang,
Nag-agree lang ako kay Attorney Golda. Grabe, mas mag-agree ganyan. Ano ba, empowered women? For me, it's the goal. No, to empower other women. To be an empowered woman, it's to recognize everything that you've been given, but it is also to recognize what you could give back, or you could give, or like you could pay forward for other women. Ito yung lagi kong sinasabi whenever we talk about, in my advocacies for gender equality, that just because you're a woman doesn't mean you're advocating for gender equality or you're helping other women. In fact, pwedeng dahil sa ugali mo or because of yun nga, internalized misogyny, you're actually stopping other women from being empowered. So the goal is that not just that I become empowered, but also to help others be empowered as well. So, and yun nga, agree ako kay Attorney Golden na minsan nakakalimutan natin yun. Kasi tayo rin may mga sariling challenges, or because we're already in a good position, no? In terms of profession, in terms of our education, that parang, ayo nga pala, dapat kung ano yung nakukuha ko, hindi yun hihinto sa akin. Dapat kung ano yung meron ako, kaya ding kunin ng ibang kababaihan. And the way to do that is to help or to empower other women.
Yes, I want to comment then on the sharing of Ate Maan. I think this entire Women's Month, we're having a lot of politicians give comments about how Philippines is already progressive with women empowerment. There is some truth in that. Pero like what Ate Maan said, a lot of work has already been done, but there is still a lot more work to do. So kailangan mag-recognize ka na you have to give back to the entire women empowerment movement. For this photo naman, yung una kong naisip is that women are not my competition. Ay kailangang tapusin natin yung themes na women are always pitted against each other, na parang kailangan lagi tayong rivals. Even sa movies, lagi na lang love triangle, dalawang babae isang lalaki fighting over one guy. Yung mga ganong type of themes, parang lagi na lang magkaaway yung mga babae. Bakit ganon? So, I wanna stand with women and not be against them. Yun yung tunay na empowerment for me.
I'll go next. It's actually very related to what Pat says kasi yung first na naisip ko is actually, it's a plea. it's a plea for like women to stop being like parang compete with each other. Like when you see as a woman succeeding, but what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Tapos parang if your first thought is parang something negative na parang against that woman, siguro it's time to like be more conscious about it na parang, no wait, dapat hindi ako naiinggit sa kanya or dapat hindi ko siya pinuput down. Dapat sinusupport ko siya because when we have more, women succeeding in the field, it really helps us, establish this fact na parang kaya ng babae, hindi kami babae lang and babae kami, kaya kaya namin siya. It's more of that. Thank you.
Yeah, I think the best word to summarize everything that they've said would be it's a movement. So we are at a pivotal time right now. There are women that are already given a platform and a voice, and now, especially for my fellow guests, we owe it to our fellow Filipinas who are still silent to speak, to stand, and most importantly, to fight. So we have to speak, we have to stand, and most importantly, we have to fight for them until they can speak, stand, and fight for themselves. It's a collective movement.
O, di ba? Pang Miss Universe talaga yung sagot. Gusto ko. I love it. Kayong lahat, Miss Universe, bigyan ng crown. Sasabihan ko si Ryan na mag-deliver ng crown sa inyo. Yes, invisible crown muna ngayon. So, let's close down tonight's conversation. Thank you so much for participating sa What's Up natin na segment. So, let's close it down with a short message to everyone watching. Women, children, kahit men or anyone, a short message lang. So maybe we can start from sino ba? From ano na lang, from Hannah, and then Attorney Golda, tapos Nicole, Pat, and then Ate Maan.
Okay, so first I would like to send a message to my mom. I believe that she's watching tonight. Everything that I do right now, I got my strength, I got my inspiration from you because you're my mother and you're a single mother, but you were able to raise me. So thank you so much for all the support that you've given me. You are the true empowered woman of our family. And to the rest of the people watching tonight, I just want to say that we should all celebrate women no matter who they are, what they do, what are they, kung ano man yung position nila. We should all celebrate women, and it can be as simple as saying that you are beautiful, you are loved, and most importantly, you matter.
For me, I speak from my experience, especially during the pandemic. And as a woman working on human rights, I had to respond to so many emergencies and human rights violations around the world while taking care of my 2-year old, and then also making sure that we had food to cook. And, there's this toilet paper in the bathroom. And so never underestimate what you can do as a woman, and always celebrate what you choose not to do as a woman as well. And we live a life where many of us have already have the privilege to easily fight for that statement. And so we also have quite a challenge to open spaces and to make this world really a better place for women and for those who support women as well.
Hi, for me, first of all, thank you for to the Tyra Awards and Foundation for this platform. I'd also like to thank, syempre, those who raised me. I'm raised by two very strong women, my mom and my tita. Thank you so much if you're watching. And siguro to close this, I'd like to tell all women listening, hopefully you are, that yung limit mo, ikaw yung naglalagay nun. Whatever you put your mind into, you can actually achieve it. Whatever career you want, like if it's in STEM or if it's in the arts, you can do it. And hopefully you can really find you know what you want to do in life, and be ready or be do know that there are a lot of women like rallying and supporting you. Yun lang.
Yes, my mother is also watching A True Empowered Woman. So I would like to thank also my mother for supporting me and being my number one inspiration to be an empowered woman as well. And to everybody here who's watching, regardless of what gender you belong to, but especially those who belong to gender minorities, do not allow anyone to dictate what you can or cannot do. Believe in yourself first, and I'm sure soon enough other people will believe in you too. If they do not, then what you're doing, the change you're doing, will speak for itself. There is an invisible glass ceiling we have as women, and for you to contribute in one small way in whatever field you belong to will be one step closer in breaking the bias. And once we break that bias, this world will be a much, much better place to live in.
Ayun. So, happy Women's Month, everyone. No? Shout out then to my mom. I'm just like Nicole, I was raised by a single mother. And that's probably where most of my inspiration and my advocacy came from. No? Seeing how a strong woman should be. And to all my women mentors throughout the years, I'm really grateful for who I am now. It's because of everything you've taught me. So yon. Also to all women out there, to all women or who identify themselves as women, kasama po kayo sa ating celebration. We embrace you. We recognize you. You are part of the movement. My message is that let's strengthen our solidarity. Let's continue speaking up and fighting for a place where we are respected, where we are recognized, where we are seen. In as much as the ones before us have done so much so that we can enjoy so many privileges now, marami pa rin tayong kailangang gawin at ipaglaban. And we can only achieve that if we have the strongest solidarity among us. So women, yun nga, sinabi no, empowered women should empower women. I hope that every day we celebrate ourselves, we celebrate other women, so that we can create a strong solidarity, so that when the time comes that we are given the space to speak up, hindi lang tayo mag-isa. Kasi alam natin na sa laban, sa pagkakapantay-pantay, kasama natin ang lahat ng kapatid nating kababaihan sa laban na to. At dala natin yung mga prinsipyo na ipaglalaban natin para hindi lang para sa sarili natin, kundi para sa lahat ng babae na pwedeng hindi nabigyan ng pagkakataong magsalita. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. All of your messages, parang na-touch ako. Feeling ko ako yung sinasabihan nyo. Because sometimes you feel like you're empowered, but there are most days talaga na you feel like you're being defeated, or you feel like you're not doing well, or you don't matter in a sense. You feel like your purpose is not there na. So tonight is a refresher, and hope everyone who's watching have learned so much. It's very beautiful. Thank you so much to all these women who continue the conversation, who fight for the community, and who empower others also. They are not just empowered, they don't keep it to themselves. They show it to other people, and they help other people to do the same also, to be empowered. So that's it. These women we have tonight are testimonies why women should lead. So we learned from Hannah that we can serve from the heart. We should not be scared to show emotions. Sabi nga niya, we should be empowered with the heart. Kung si Pia Wurzbach, sabi niya, confidently beautiful with the heart. Sabi naman ni Hannah, empowered with the heart dapat tayo. And for Attorney Golda naman, I think one thing that struck me the most talaga when she said we should tell women to stop apologizing. Parang it's kind of our nature sometimes to apologize because all these um stereotypes that are there. Sometimes it comes to you, eh. So we should not, and we should serve, because you're a mother, you serve courage. It's quite courage of women to serve parang with the heart, to show, parang supplementary sa kay Hannah that we should not be afraid to show all these mother instincts that we have. And I think that's really beautiful because I myself, my mother is my inspiration. I feel like she's a super mom. I'm not who I am today if it's not for her. gosh. Diba? Parang emotional ako. Because it's really true. When you talk about women who empowered you in life, and she's the reason why I'm also empowered. So it's I don't know. This has been a really great night. I'm really happy to be part of this. And then I've learned also from Man that you should make things happen. When there's a crisis, you lead like a mother. So parang like para siguro tayo lahat we get it from our mother, or for attorney Goda, since she's a mother, so parang mas na-experience niya talaga how a mother is, and how it's nice to parang in an organization you act like a mother, you act like a mother. But yeah, so for Pat, make the space available for you to lead. If there's no space for you, create your own space. And I think that's really beautiful, because sometimes you feel like I don't fit in this world, or I don't know what's my purpose, what should I do, I don't think I belong here. So create your own space. There's no rules for you to lead. You can choose whatever you want as long as you believe in yourself. You don't need a lot of people to believe in you. You just have to start, keep on going, and believe in yourself. And then from Nicole, what you wear does not define you, or does not define what kind of leader you are. You don't have to wear masculine clothes. You don't have to show people that you can lead because I am with like my group of friends are all men. You should not be. It's not a stereotype that I'm a woman, I'm not really good, maybe like let's say engineering, or I'm not good in like all these stuff. I think we're way past that. It's 2022. So hello. That let's just keep that in our history books, or like yung mga movies na from 1800s, yung mga 1900 movies. Let's just keep it that way and not implement it. Implement talaga now. So thank you so much. This has been Jasmine W. Scales saying tonight we sleep. Tomorrow we continue to #break the bias. And I would remind everyone that we can lead, women can lead, so let them. Follow tayo in all its social media platforms to be updated with any upcoming opportunities, and especially the 20th year for the 10 Accomplished Youth Organizations, or Tayo Awards. Till the next Tayo Talks, and happy International Women's Day Month. Abante babae, and bye. Thank you so much. Thank you to all these
Thank you so
amazing empowered
much.
women. Thank
Happy
you.
International Women's
everyone.
Month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who
We have been with you for 108 years, sharing happiness and creating moments together. But now is the time, more than ever, to go beyond by showing up in times when we are needed the most, to reaching you wherever you may be, to serving the ones who need a chance to recover, to rebuild, to restart, to help uplift the lives of other people, while protecting and preserving the resources we all need to survive. It's time to do more than just good. Now is the time to give more, do more, be more. For you, for the communities we serve, for a better future shared by all. Coca-Cola, go beyond good.